Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in Tubbataha, and this is what you expect here. A lot of fish and dense coral cover. This is what you see on the outer reef walls of Tubbataha. But there's a different part of Tubbataha, which I had the great privilege of also exploring and of looking for fish there. So this is on the inside of the lagoons. So when we look at a nautical map of Tubbataha, we can see that it is essentially located between Palawan and the island group of the Visayas. And it's in the middle of the Sulu Sea. And then when we zoom in, we can see that there are three parts of the reef system. To the north is the smaller Jesse Beasley Reef, and then there's the north and the south atoll. And curiously, these are not actually regular atolls. These are raised shoals around which corals grow. So sometimes it's called a pseudo-atoll. Nevertheless, the topology is the same, that both inside of the north as well as of the south atoll, there's a body of water which is up to 34 meters deep in the north atoll, and this is what we also explored. So I had the great privilege to explore this area together with my colleague and mentor, Professor Kent Carpenter. And it's not actually easy to get in there. So this is only accessible by boat, and this was the boat of the park rangers who were supporting us very kindly during these endeavors together with the Philippine Navy and Coast Guard. You have to travel in there during high tide, and then you see this. The visibility is less than on the outside, though it's not actually bad. And the coral growth forms are much more elongated and fragile because the corals here do not deal with the strong currents which they're dealing with on the outside of the north and of the south atoll. There is a very rich fish fauna actually. We have seen large animals like bumphead parrotfish as well as grey reef sharks and large snappers and groupers, but really, what's the difference between the inside and the outside? These extremely large, dense schools, which are so prevalent on the outside of Tubbataha, they are missing in the lagoons. And on top of that, however, the fauna of small fishes like gobies and blennies, and especially cardinal fishes, is very, very rich. So this is a essentially completely unperturbed area. There's nobody ever fishing there, so in the very rare cases of illegal fishermen in Tubbataha, they don't make it there. And then this is not dived by tourists because it would be difficult to access, and this is an area which the park rangers rightfully really want to protect. And it's also not quite as attractive. So this is a nice dive site, but it's not this spectacular wall dive with charismatic megafauna and sharks and big schools, what you can see on the outside of Tubbataha. So I think it should be interesting for you as an amateur naturalist to have a look at this. This is how the lagoons look in Tubbataha, and please check back in a couple of days. There's one more episode of our Tubbataha fish fauna series.